Okay. A very good evening, friends, and welcome to our second info session. My name is Thomas.
I'm Siin.
Yes, and we will be your MCs for today. Thank you for joining LDP's second info session, where we will share with you the details of our club as a platform for us to grow from literally zero to great leaders. If you're totally new to this kind of stuff we'll be talking about, don't worry, we'll start from the very background. Along the way, if you have any questions, feel free to post your questions on Slido. The link will be given in the chat. Frederick, please provide the link.
While Frederick is looking for the link, let me continue. During the entire session, please do take note of the following. Since we are on Zoom, do try to turn on your cameras so that we can see your beautiful faces and to always stay muted.
Before I begin, allow us to introduce our two very handsome event organizers, Brian and Frederick, Head of Outreach and Publicity and Head of Logistics respectively. Without their hard work input, there won't be the same work output for this event. Get it? Yeah, never mind. Okay. Yes, this is them without the mask. And I will let you all to decide which one is more handsome. And fun fact, they both like K-pop. And any K-pop fans can be their chingu, basically. And as a side note, we have a K-pop interest group within LDP. So if you want to join, feel free to hit them up. They are super friendly and they don't bite.
So today we have a lineup of luminary speakers. I hope that they'll inspire you to make the most of your university life and encourage you to join us in LDP. Our scope for today is shown in this slide. Please take a moment to look through and let's get started. First up, let's welcome our President Ziyun, who will be giving an introduction on LDP.
Hello, thank you, Sin. And Frederick. Oh, sorry, and Thomas. Give me a moment. Let me share my screen.
No worry, take your time.
All right, just to confirm my screen is visible.
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome. Okay, hello everyone. I'm Sin. Or if that's too complicated, you can call me Bob. I'm in my 4th year of mechanical engineering and I specialize in robotics and mechatronics. Yeah, so I've been told that to make myself more relatable, I should share a bit about my, I need to play this video finish. Sorry, I'm a bit boomer. Yes, so I've been told to share a bit about myself. So my academic background is as follows. First, I was in Nanhua. Then I went to National Junior College. Then I'm in lovely NTU. So Nanhua and National Junior Colleges, for those of you who don't know, are schools or institutions in Singapore. So I started off my journey as a chubby little kid. I'm sorry, I can't find any glamorous photos, so that's me. I was in Boys Brigade and I played the bagpipe band. And I went on to NJC, where I carried on as a student officer in Boys Brigade. And I think one of the turning points in my JC experience was to be stuffed inside the skin-tight Spider-Man costume. So that's me over there posing awkwardly with a thumbs up because I didn't know that Spider-Man was supposed to do like this. And that experience was because we need to raise funds for a CIP event. So CIP stands for Community Involvement Program. It's a community service project where we try to go around different train stations and raise awareness and funds for, in this case, it was Bone Marrow Donor Program Singapore. So I think this was really the event that sparked my passion for community service, because through this event, I got to interact with people who fell below the nets, fall through the cracks. People who are underprivileged, people who might not have as much opportunities as we have here in NTU. And I think that really sparked my interest in community service. And later, this interest will be carried on to LDP in NTU, where I can share a bit more about my experience there. Okay, so after JC or junior college or high school, I went to NTU. So that's me on the right, posing awkwardly with the lion, the mascot. I still have no idea what the name of the mascot is. I've been showing this a few times. If anyone knows the name, can you please save me and let me know what's the name of the mascot?
Apparently it's lion.
Oh, is it? Oh my goodness, Shivam. Thank you. And Thomas. wow, I've been navigating 4 years of NTU life without knowing the name of the lion that I stood next to. Anyway, partly because the lion was so cute, I decided to come to NTU. And in my first semester, I actually joined LDP. So my path into LDP was quite funny. I actually had the pleasure to know Si-In, who is one of our MCs today, before we enter uni. And then I turned to her one day, then I was like, kepo or kiasu, which means scared to lose out. So I turned to her like, yo, Si-In, hey, what CCA are you joining? And then she was like, oh, I'm joining LDP. And I was like, oh, what's LDP? And she said, it means Leadership Development Program. But beyond that, I don't really know what it is. So honestly, 3 years later, I still don't know 100% what LDP is about, but I can share what LDP has been to me through this presentation. Then we can see the photo on the left. That is us in our team bonding. We had a barbecue near Changi Beach. And unfortunately, COVID has rendered that impossible, but I hope that when you join LDP, a few years down the road, we can get together physically again. All right. As I reflect about what LDP means to me, I think that my experience can be summed up into 3 points. The first point is the ability for me to bring my passion for community service forward. So I mentioned in JC, my passion for community service really sort of sparked, and I realized that, hey, this is something which I'm keen to carry on doing. And one of the ways which I've been able to do so through LDP is in organizing STEM workshops. So STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, mathematics. And what we do, one of our arms do, is we go around and reach out to voluntary welfare organizations, and we cater to underprivileged kids. So a fun fact about myself is I never really knew about STEM or had coding or engineering experience or any of that before I stepped into uni. And when I was in uni, I turned to people and look around like, oh my God, this guy has been coding since like 14 years old. This guy has been playing robotics since like, I don't know, 6 years old or some nonsense like that. Then I was like, oh my goodness, imposter syndrome. So I think it might be as a result of my personal insecurity. No, hopefully not. I wanted to bring science and tech to people who might not otherwise have the chance to be exposed to this kind of concepts. Yeah, so in the photo, we see kids playing with 3D printing pens. I'm drawing some very nice 3D printed sculpture and a cake with 2 Fs. Also, we teach them robotics. So that is an Arduino microcontroller. It's a very simple microcontroller. You can, if you're interested to know about this, we can talk more after this presentation. Yeah. Another thing is, because I'm so old and I'm so out of touch with today's contemporaries, I primarily get my knowledge about what is hype through this kind of workshops. So in 2019, I think a lot of people drew this lizard, which is on fire, the tail on fire. I think it's called Pokemon, something like that. Then last year, a lot of people draw this purple color guy with a visor. It looks like a visor. Yeah, I have no idea what that is, but at least, when that appears in my screen, it's like, oh, I know that's popular now. Yeah, okay. Then apart from kids, we also do STEM workshop with palliative care patients. So these are elderly hospice patients. Yeah, I can see some of the art's quite nice. In fact, I think the art's better than mine. Yeah, lost a lot of my self-esteem in these workshops because of nice pictures. And we also had the chance to collaborate with other clubs. So that one is a robotics club with a primary school. All right, okay, so that was point number 1, which is bringing what I was interested in and bring my ideas to reality. Point number 2 is really about professional development and about networking. So we can see all the pictures here, are all the chances that I've had to go on competitions, research projects with different people in LDP. So most of my closest friends are from LDP. And you see a lot of photos of this white bubbly guy. The photo a little bit chubby. His name is Clive. He's one of our speakers for today. And I've had the privilege. Okay, I've had the privilege and he's had the, well, what's the opposite of privilege? Pain. Okay, he's had the pain of being forced. Yeah, misfortune. Thanks, Clive, for stepping in. We can talk later if you want. Misfortune for working with me. Then both of these are Eureka projects. So if you're in your first year, Eureka projects are sort of extra research projects that you can get involved in NTU. Yeah, and I've done both of them. And both of them actually came possible because of the people I knew in LDP. And the last thing is really the friends and the people I've gotten to know with. Um, so the lovely photo to the right is Clive celebrating his birthday the way he likes it best. Yeah, I shall go no further in that. So have this buffet. Oh, okay. So this buffet is actually a very interesting story. So right at the onset of COVID, I think last year in March, Clive was the overall in charge of this massive event called Leadership Speech Series. So we invite high-ranking people from all the companies like Dyson, Rolls-Royce, come to NTU MAE and talk about their engineering leadership experience. So we want to motivate the students now, in a sense. Then to cap this project, we intended to have a buffet for a few hundred people because it was a massive event, right? And just a few hours before, like 3 hours before the event was scheduled to start, we received the email that Singapore was entering lockdown because of COVID-19 and all in-person events had to be scrapped. And as a result of that, Clive actually, I was in the same room with Clive when the email happened, and he literally just stood up, screamed, "What the beep?" and then flipped a few chairs and a few tables. And then he tried to cancel the buffet, which was $1,200 worth. But the caterer said that, "Oh, sorry, it's a bit too late. We are on the way already." And then the buffet came, but then there was no event. And somehow, Clive, as the overall in charge, managed to settle $1,200 worth of buffet food. To this day, I have no idea how he did it. But yeah, that's just one of the experiences I had as part of LDP. Clive ate $1,200 worth of food in one sitting. Yeah, okay. But this is not about Clive. Let's move on. And finally, I think 3 years later, now in my 4th year, here I am, so thankful to be leading the expo. And my objective is to try to make LDP as enjoyable as it was for you. Yep, so that's it. The focus is really on you. I think for this semester, we are introducing a lot of engagement workshops to try to benefit you directly. So stay tuned for that if you're interested to join us. One quick disclaimer to note though, I think NTU uses a hall point bidding system to allocate you to halls. LDP, because of a variety of reasons, do not offer hall points. That's not to say that you can't stay in hall if you're part of LDP. A lot of our members have successfully juggled LDP as their main CCA and other side CCAs in order to get hall points. So don't worry about not being able to join hall at all if you were to be part of LDP. Feel free to speak with any of us. Yeah, if you need tips about this. Okay, we have come to the end of my sharing. Now I'm heading the presentation back to the MCs. Thomas and Sian, please.
Right, okay. Thanks, Siyun, for your sharing and also bringing us through your journey, through your different life seasons. I think the most memorable visual for your presentation has got to be you in your skin-tight Spider-Man suit. And the most memorable takeaway for me is your love for CIP and bringing STEM to the community. You're really an inspiration to me.
Yes,
So
I agree,
before-
Sian. And time
Yes.
for our Vice President, Clive, the man, the myth, the legend who ate $1,200 worth of food in a single afternoon to share and hopefully excite you with our past events and events to come. Clive, please.
Testing. Okay, thanks to Ziun, Thomas, and Siin. So I think you all know by now, I'm Clive, LDP's Vice President. Year 4, but I think I say that out of habit. So okay, now you know roughly what LDP does. I'm going to elaborate more with examples of events and future events that we are planning. In fact, I actually think I actually went through this during the sharing session with the entire MAE. So I'll quickly go through them in detail. For past events, outreach events for MAE school, these usually are like scooters for JC Polys to our labs, STEM workshops for them as hands-on. STEM workshops, we've done 3D printing, Arduino cars, and aerospace workshops. And I feel these workshops are really great in the sense that a lot of these secondary school and JC students who come to engineering, they think engineers are people who work with engines. Then some of them, they just go because the school tell them to go. Then when we show them that actually what we do is that we incorporate science into application, you can see like the interest spark in their eyes, and it's really exciting to at least let them know that engineering is not about working with engines. So it's one of the exciting things about being in LDP. Next, for our STEM workshops, we also do for external groups also for our CIP events. We like to focus on the children because like for JC Poly students, this is, you can see it's the same thing, just that we're targeting them when they are younger. Yes, one of the purposes is to encourage them to join engineering and possibly MAE, NTU also. But in the end, like just to give them 3 hours of doodling whatever they want, not just children, for the elderly also, it's really like it's a really nice feeling to like spend time with them, especially for some who never had a chance to operate this kind of equipment also. Next. Okay, so we also organize events for undergraduates. Things we've done, our HR managers talk. As I mentioned before, we invited hiring managers from engineering companies come down to share with students what these companies are looking for when they're hiring right now, especially with COVID. Not just this, we've also done other university events aimed at helping the student body also. So examples are leadership speech series. Leadership speech series is similar to hiring managers talk, but we invited many heads of departments of engineering companies, managers, and I think one CEO of an entrepreneurship company. So yeah, basically the bosses of these engineering companies to come down. It's quite a major event, and this secretly my plan was to give undergraduate students an opportunity to network with these bosses and managers. So unfortunately, it not say failed, it got cancelled because of COVID, and I had to quickly like try to find how to clear $1,000 worth of food. But that was just the year I organized it. I think a few years ago, LDP also organized another round of leadership speech series. So we are trying to organize it again this year. Other things we've done is, let's say, a Jurong Island tour. I planned it because I was hoping to give MAE students a chance to consider the energy industry as a career, because all those companies at Jurong Island, they definitely need mechanical engineers. So I organized a tour. LDP organized a tour to Jurong Island's cogeneration plant, and it was supposed to go, but due to COVID, it got postponed. Other things we've done is also a time management workshop by Nicholas and a Microsoft Excel workshop done by me and my LDP team during my first year. Next. Okay. All work and no play makes you a dull person. So we don't just do work, we also have fun. We have bonding sessions. Like for this one, it was one of our we call it our fun day, where we just met up to play frisbee and play sports, and after that eat dinner and just bond. You can say that LDP is also a chance for you to make friends with like-minded people. And my closest friends in my 3 years of study so far has been my LDP friends since I joined. If you want something more professional, we also have we also do mentor-mentee workshops from senior LDP, your senior LDP members to junior LDP members, such as maybe yourself. These will be like resume workshops, brushing up your LinkedIn, how to find an internship, and all other like professional skills we hope we can pass down to our juniors. So this is just an example of one of our seniors, Lu Zhen, the ex-president 4 years ago, or was it 3 years ago? 3 or 4 years ago, just sharing with us doing our LDP investiture. Okay, now for future events. The STEM workshops done by CIP, our CIP STEM workshops are quite popular among the community groups we conducted them with. So we're going to plan more. Just to let you know, of course now COVID is very difficult. One of our past CIP events is called Project Love, where we actually formed definitely we have to form a team. Then they went overseas to do volunteering. A project which, because we're mechanical engineering, I believe is engineering related. I do not have the exact details, but it was a really big thing back then. And back then was like before I joined NTU. So when I joined NTU, we had a lack of manpower, unfortunately. And this period also we have, you can say COVID. So we cannot do this. Still, the resources for Project Love, the plans and all, they are in our databases. And if we want to restart it with enough manpower, we can do this. And I feel Project Love will be a very, if we really go and plan for it, like in a 1 year, 2 years later, it is possible to be done and it will be very meaningful. Next, internal sessions. So I'm quite keen on getting connections. Okay, internal means from LDP to other undergraduates in NTU. I'm quite keen on getting connections and networks between the school community and companies. So the very basic ones will be sharing sessions by MAE alumni in their jobs right now about their industries, or company hiring managers, or another higher level will be company site visits. I tried to restart my Jurong Island, but due to COVID, they are increasing precautions. But I'm trying to find other companies also. Like for a chance for MA students to tour around the company's factories or workshops and see how the company is run, this kind of thing. The highest level one, I would say, would be a company affiliated innovation challenge or hackathon. And in fact, LDP is organizing this. It's still in the early stages, but we are organizing this right now with HP. If I'm not wrong, it stands for Hewlett Packard, the printing company. So HP being a company, they definitely have problems, or they want to increase their business, they want to find new markets, this kind of thing. So they are organizing a hackathon, and LDP is the student club. We are the student club that are going to plan it. So yes, internal sessions. Various outreach events MA School occasionally invites us to host for JC and Poly students. This one is, I would say it's more of an ad hoc thing. MA office suddenly tell us there's a JC coming over, can you plan something for them? A lab tour, a STEM workshop? Sure, we will help MA office. And because in the end, it's also like recruiting new members for NTU MAE, and we always like that. Last but not least, we have our own internal developments for our own members. Like I earlier mentioned, the mentor-mentee groups, our senior led professional development workshops, this kind of thing. We, especially for this senior led, where's my mouse? Senior led professional development workshops, we have quite a lot planned this semester over quite a wide range of topics. So quite a lot to keep you occupied. And yes, also bonding sessions, chances for you to make friends, this kind of thing. I feel this is even more important during this COVID period because a lot of clubs they have everything online, all their events online. We are also facing this issue, and it is difficult to feel bonded, to feel connected, to make friends online. So as much as possible, I'm trying for physical, like no online or physical bonding sessions where members meet up face to face to have dinner, this kind of thing. The purpose is not to do work, like just to have fun, dinner or leisure, this kind of thing. Okay, so now for the most important part, which I also mentioned in my previous events last time. How does this help you? We plan a lot of events, and they don't seem to be about directly about leadership, but it's through the planning of these events where you gain the soft skills you need to lead such events, interacting with stakeholders. What's the correct term? Not interacting with your friends, communicating with your team members on how to achieve the goal. And the most important thing, I feel, is to solve unexpected problems that come up, especially when these unexpected problems are urgent or have big stakes. So it forces you, these are opportunities for you to think on your feet. Practice the ability to think on your feet. And it's quite I would say it's quite an important skill, not just for like mechanical engineering, it's just for everyone in general. Unlike other clubs where initially you have to be, you can say saikang, before finally gaining leadership responsibilities during your second year, you have the chance to get a leadership role during your first semester with LDP. So I said this earlier, when I was organizing my Excel workshop, it was during my first semester, not just first year. So I proposed it, my seniors liked it, and they told me to plan it. It was scary, but I had nothing to lose, so I formed a team to organize it. We really didn't have much resources. The only resources we had was from our seniors who gave us tips on like probably who to contact, how to book the facilities, this kind of thing. But mostly it was my team's event. So when problems came, like there was a point we couldn't even find someone who was willing to teach, to host the workshop. So chances are we were going to teach the workshop. In the end, we managed to find a company that was willing to organize the workshop, and we settled everything. So the achievement, it was us, my team, me and my members. Yeah, my seniors helped, but they were not insignificant. They were only like playing an advisory role. This will be the same for your projects or your events planned under LDP. LDP Exco like me and Ziun, we can join to help you, but in the end, it's your event. We only will give advice. You plan the event, you execute the event, the project, and in the end, it will be you and your team's achievement. So at the end of the session, seeing 30 undergraduates benefit from the Microsoft Excel workshop, it was really a very exciting, very satisfactory feeling, a great sense of achievement in me. Even though I keep repeating, it's during my first semester only. So now in my final year, I want to let juniors like you guys taste this sense of achievement. So I shall end off with my seniors' advice to me when I was a freshman like you last year. You sign up for CCA, you sleep at 2 a.m. You don't sign up for CCA, you still sleep at 2 a.m. So you might as well just sign up. So really do sign up and make use of the development and resources and opportunities LDP provides for you. So with that, that's the end. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Clive. And that was such a comprehensive sharing about your club activities. So interesting. And there's so much potential for us to explore more events together with our new members. Before we continue, I would like to encourage our participants to turn on their camera. We will appreciate it if we can see your faces. Thank you.
And here I'd like to give a shout out to Shivam and Yunbin for turning your cameras on for I think the post of this presentation. I really appreciate knowing who I'm sharing to, and I think the speakers do as well. So here's encouraging Wilson, who on his camera just now. Xing Yi, Chong, Yuki, Jiahao, Paris, Nindya, Hanson, Darsh, and Akana to also turn on your cameras. Or like, if it's not convenient for you and you're eating, please do give us a wave or something in the chat box so that we know that you are here with us. Right, okay, let's continue. And now we'll continue the sharing session by two of our alumni who will talk about their university life with LDP. Next up, let's invite Nicholas, who is our former LDP president, to give his sharing. Nicholas, please.
Everyone. I'm not sure whether am I lagging?
Yes, you are a little bit.
Your connection is a bit laggy.
Okay, but shall Shivansh go first? Then I'll try.
Yes, I think Sivas can go first. Are you ready,
Yeah,
Sivas?
absolutely. Yeah, can you?
Thank you, Sivas.
Yeah, can you put on? Someone share the screen, and you can share my slides.
All
maybe.
right.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay. So first of all, let me welcome you all to our info session. I know all of you are very busy, and we appreciate you taking out the time and joining us while we explain what LDP is about and what it has done for us. So first of all, for me, I would like to give you some details about my background. First of all, I studied in India. I came here in 2019, and I was in direct entry. I was admitted as year one. So while I came here to Singapore, I was quite intimidated by seeing so many different people around me, like people who are smarter than me, people who are more accomplished. And then I was always worried, how am I going to survive mechanical engineering without any networks or seniors to guide me? So in that sense, LDP really helped me, that when I just entered NTU, I found LDP. And it was really, really helpful because LDP provides a lot of support, and the people here are very kind. So if you ever have any doubts, you can just contact them. And I think I've made some of my really good friends in LDP because of their attitude. Okay, more about me is I'm currently in my year 3. I'm interning at Dyson as a design engineering intern. I am specializing in design, which is the stream option that you will get in your second year after you complete your first year. During the before the start of your first semester in second year, they'll give you the option. I also like to work with machining tools and manufacturing processes. That's my main interest. I don't know how to code. I want to learn, but I just don't feel like it. So I'm going to stick to my strengths and pursue manufacturing. Then my other interests are in consulting, community service, and entrepreneurship, all for which I've done. As you expressed earlier, we all need to have some side CCAs because all of us need hall points. We want to stay in hall. So in that sense, I did venture into consulting and entrepreneurship and joined CCAs, and I really, really enjoyed them. Next slide, please. Okay, so sorry for that. So experience at LDP. So as I explained, I joined in 2019 and I found Bob, Clive, and one other person called Yushwan. So we participated in a hackathon called Hack Asia, and we actually came second in our challenge category, which was a very big deal given that it was our first hackathon. And I didn't know much, and these people were really helpful in guiding me. So in that sense, when I went on and we won the challenge categories, second position, it was a really big deal. Other than that, in my first year, I didn't get to spend enough time, but I did work with Nicholas and then Vice President Darwin on publicity for LDP. So I wrote a bunch of captions for our Facebook post and Instagram post during that academic year. Here are some pictures of me enjoying at Hack Asia. It was a really cool visit. I think a lot of us just ate a lot of snacks during the night while doing the project. Next slide, please. Yeah, so this is events from my second year. So in my second year, I actually wanted to try a leadership role in LDP. So I served as the events executive jointly with Yushwan and we held 2 workshops in that year. The first one was focus on professional development through resume, cover letter, and LinkedIn. You might be introduced to Mr. Caleb soon. He's a very cool guy and he will help you a lot. So I gave a joint workshop with him, as well as a uni hacks workshop, which was just a small casual sharing session where undergraduates in their fourth year of mechanical engineering would join us, and then we would answer questions of freshies about their ad drop period, like Star Wars and stuff like which mods are the best and which profs give the best marks. Other than that, I also served as LDP mentor, as Clive mentioned before. There is a program called LDP Mentor Mentee Program, which is basically putting seniors with a group of juniors and helping them give out a workshop that they are interested in. So our group was really effective in the way that we all bonded really well and we all got to learn something from each other in that process. Next slide, please. So why LDP? I would like to tell you, first of all, as I mentioned, the network that you get in LDP from all of the brilliant minds that join LDP, and it's a really valuable network, I would say. These people are gonna be supporting you throughout your academic years, and if you network with them, they might benefit you when you graduate also. It's a good professional relationship to keep. Second point is development. So LDP provides a lot of resources and a lot of academic support in terms of videos and sort of tips if you want. So development is quite beneficial for you when you join LDP. And then last is support, because people here are not only kind, but they are generally supportive. So if you're working on a project and you happen to go to LDP room, you can borrow a Arduino Uno with permission from Bob, and he won't say no. He'll even ask about your project and be generally interested in it. So that's really cool of him. So that's my 2 cents for this club, and I really hope that you make the decision of joining LDP. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Shivansh. Truly, LDP is the place to be to meet new friends and live a high-key and engaging life. Next up, can we invite Nicholas, who is our former LDP president, to give his sharing.
Yep. Hopefully my internet is better now. Is it better?
Yes, it's better.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So good evening, everyone. Thank you, Sein, as well as Thomas, for the introduction, and for the to the LDP team for inviting me to share a little bit more about my experiences in NTU as well as LDP. So I think before I begin, please feel free to actually scan the QR code located at the bottom right-hand corner to connect with me. I'll be more than glad to actually answer any of your future queries relating to NTU or MAE in general. I recently registered myself as an NTU mentor, and I'm excited to have some mentees under my mentorship. So I actually see the mentorship program as a platform for both the mentees as well as I to actually exchange ideas and knowledge. So don't be shy to actually reach out to me. I have much to learn from each and every one of you as well. So on to my introduction. As mentioned, my name is Nicholas. I graduated from NTU in 2020 with a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering, specializing in product design. So I chose my particular specialization as I was fascinated by the Kickstarter community and was interested to understand the reasoning why certain products were designed a certain way. I was also previously from Nanhua High, like Zun, and was from Ngee Polytechnic studying engineering science, similar to one of our previous president, Zheng Wei. So I was wondering whether there could be a coincidence that someone here could be from Nanhua Ngee before. So hopefully one of you guys were from these schools as well. So I would firstly like to welcome all of you to NTU. I think you all made the right choice. And also, to share a little bit more, once upon graduating, I still continued to revisit NTU, and I also took a mini master's course in general management with NTU. So my profile isn't a very conventional mechanical engineering profile, as you can see from my past work experiences. But I wouldn't really elaborate too much on this as not the main topic today. But if you'd like to know more, just feel free to PM me. As of now, I'm actually currently a business analyst with an import and export company, designing the next, hopefully revolutionary supply chain management system. So I like to post, this is a very short video about my life now. So this mimics my life now. So basically, I'm doing slides and PowerPoints while everybody around me is enjoying. So that's the sad life of a working adult. Yeah. So what's life like at NTU, right? So while preparing these slides, I actually took a trip down memory lane to recall all the fond memories that I forged between myself as well as my course, as well as hallmates. So those 3 years as the direct year two flew by pretty fast, especially since I spent an entire year away, fulfilling my compulsory internship, as well as going overseas for my semester, as well as summer exchange. So technically, I only spent a total of 2 years on campus. So entering as a direct year two, I lived in Hall 11. So hopefully some of you guys stay in Hall 11 as well. I played for the Hall badminton team for 2 semesters before leaving for both my semester as well as summer exchange. So during my first 2 semesters, I spent more time in the reading room, cramping my modules and tutorials than living in my dorm. Also made quite a lot of friends along the way, as you can see. I'm a very sociable person. And also as a design stream student, I also had many hands-on assignments. And one of them shown here is a metal sculpture made from recycled metals. I also participated actively in CCAs, which include LDP, which is an events management CCA, as well as Conjunct Consulting, which is a pro bono consulting club. I spent my entire 3 years in LDP and contributed back to the club even while overseas. So I'd like to share a little bit more about my travel opportunities. So my very first overseas trip was actually surprisingly a sponsored trip by NTU. So this particular opportunity was offered to the School of MAE, and School of MAE actually gave LDP first priority in terms of selecting students to attend this trip. So I actually attended a symposium held by United Nations in Thailand. It was a 1-week trip, fully sponsored, all expenses paid. Yeah. And then after which I went for a summer exchange in Seoul. And then shortly after, I went for a semester exchange in Czech Republic. So upon returning to Singapore in my final year, my final year project professor actually invited me to attend a research trip sponsored by NTU in South Korea again, Daejeon. So it was a 1-week trip there. So I would say that NTU actually gave me a huge amount of opportunities to actually travel the world and experience different cultures. Some of the interesting things that I learned along the way were that, Europeans, they find it very strange that Asians do not have a dishwasher at home. And also they wonder why we have air conditioning in our cars, because to them, they only have heaters in their cars. So it's quite an interesting fact. I thoroughly enjoyed myself during these trips, and I wish I could revisit these countries in the near future. So talking about topics closer to home, I wanted to expose myself to topics outside of my undergraduate degree, and I took on what we call a Eureka project with the School of Art Design and Media, School of ADM, and completed 2 additional part-time internships on top of my compulsory industrial attachment. So NTU is a reputable university, which was one of the main reasons why I was able to secure my other internships as well. A little bit. I think the only fact that relates me to mechanical engineering was that apart from my studies was my final year project. So my final year project was AI team. You can actually read a little bit more about it by Googling B013DR NTU on Google. So this is a short picture. I'm not too sure whether you can see. Yeah, of me and my friends while I was playing badminton. I kind of look the same. I don't think I aged, so that's a good thing. Yeah. So I'd like to share a little bit more about my life at NTU. So this was my dorm as a direct year two. You can see it's quite crazy. I lived in my dorm. I brought everything to my dorm. I brought my fridge. I brought my clothes. I practically didn't go home for maybe a month. I just stayed inside there. So it's quite sad, but no regrets. I had friends who stayed over with me as well. Yeah. This was the symposium which I attended in Thailand. So I met a lot of people from different countries, and this is a picture of me in Czech Republic attending Oktoberfest. And this is a picture while in Daejeon. So this was at Kaiser. Yeah. And this is my buddy from Czech Republic who came to pick me up at the train station. So very nice. And then this is a very short video of time lapse from my dorm in Czech Republic. So it's quite nice. And then sadly, this was before winter. So this was during winter. Yeah, you can tell this is about 4 p.m. Yeah, quite depressing. So finally, I would like to talk a little bit more about LDP, which is the main topic for today. I think you guys are wondering what life is like with LDP and what can you expect. So I started off as the assistant head of academic training and development with LDP, and then I moved on to become the marketing executive while I was on exchange, and finally I was the president in my final year. I think if I could summarize LDP in 2 words, it would be that LDP is a hidden gem. Why would I say that it's a hidden gem is that if you ask your peers whether they have heard of LDP, they'll probably say no, as compared to aerospace society or MAE club. But a little known fact is that if there's any opportunity presented to the school of MAE, LDP members will actually be given the priority. And these events can include networking with industry professionals or even overseas sponsored trips. So beyond the perks and exclusivity, I see LDP as a safe, nurturing platform for students to hence the goal and enhancing their technical soft skills. So from there, do not see you as a junior or freshie, but we will see you as a contributing member to the club, where your ideas are actually valued and you need to actually bring your ideas to life. With the guidance of seniors, we will actually to successfully lead a team, manage a project, or even run events. So speaking from an aspect, so the goal of LDP is not only for members to run events, but to enhance the bonds among our members. Outside of our common club activities, the members group together to actually have study sessions or even play sports with one another. You'll be surprised as to how much you can learn from our intelligent members. And the best part of all of this is that we strongly believe that each member has something to bring to the table, which we can learn from. As you can see from the images shown, these are some of the events held by some of our members, Sein, Clive, as well as Idris. The other images were taken when I returned to NTU to actually play frisbee with Bob. Even after I started working, and to also while studying for a particular module with Dimitri, who isn't here today. And is actually our members slams after the exam, because if he does not complete his he will get marks deducted. So to really end off, my part for today's session, the closest bonds forged throughout my undergraduate studies were actually from the club. And from the times we spent participating in competitions or even organizing events to time spent burning the midnight oil and discussing past year paper questions, and even taking late night strolls or runs around the school, I picked up a lot of soft skills and seized every opportunity presented to me. I truly believe that every member here is treated equally regardless of their position in the club. It doesn't mean that I have a president, I have preferential treatment. It doesn't mean that. The current club members are giving you the same opportunity that was actually presented to me. So really the final decision is really up to all of you to seize it. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicholas. We thank you for all your contributions to LDP. It's really nice to hear that you are doing well in your current career. We wish you all the very best. Before we continue, I would like to encourage our participants to turn on your camera once again, as we are going to do a photo taking session. Brian, can you facilitate? Thank you.
Please
Okay,
turn on
thanks,
your
Thomas.
cam.
Yes.
Don't be shy.
Yes, don't be shy. Even if you're
Yeah.
outside, just on your camera just for a little while. For
Yeah.
us to take
Yeah,
a
just for a
photo.
couple seconds, guys. Let's go, let's go.
10 seconds only. Don't be shy.
Yes.
Why you all sound like Predator?
What?
Come
Oh my
on.
goodness.
Please turn on if possible. Thank you.
Don't worry, guys.
Brian, you want to do the countdown?
We don't buy it. Okay, I'm gonna take a photo in 3, 2, 1. Smile, guys. Okay, can do a pose if you guys want. In 3, 2, 1. Woo! Okay, thanks, guys. Such a great photo.